We be live. Hi everyone. Let me know how my audio is. Let me know if you're liking the stream. How's my audio? Actually, let me check myself. Guys, make sure you like the stream. It's important that you like the stream so that more people end up watching the stream. You know the drill. Just do it. Okay, thank you so much, Seed. Alfred is here highlighting your comments. Hello, hello. Hello, Alexandra. Hello, Levantix. Don't forget to confirm in the live chat, write in the live chat that you have liked so other people see that, and Alfred highlights it. It's not just those comments, by the way, guys. Your other comments will be highlighted as well. How come I'm not able to check if we are live? My audio is good, right? Let me actually check myself. This should be okay. Yes, let me do the audio check so we could get started. Check myself. All right, guys. Yes, thank you so much, guys, for liking the stream. All right, we should get started. Today's stream is kind of tricky because there's a lot of misinformation out there, and we're going to practice today to be skeptical, okay? Because, guys, this channel, if you have not noticed yet, this channel has, a little bit a small issue with religions like Islam. We have like a bit of we're Islamophobic here. Like we don't like Islam, or like aggressively anti-Islam. And that being aggressively anti-Islam tends to attract certain type of people that we don't agree with, and also certain type of people that might spread misinformation. So we have to be able to, and this channel, we have to be very careful about what we are endorsing here, and also make sure that either the people who have other agenda, we make it clear that we're not with them, or try to change their opinion so that they adopt our ways instead of their own ways, right? So so I'm not going to deny this, okay? The situation in Bangladesh is very concerning, okay? The thing that happens when the situation gets disconcerting is that a lot of other people with different agenda also spread a lot of misinformation. So we have to be very careful about what is a concern and what's not a concern. And we have to double check and check our facts. And by the way, Susanna has been a huge help with me. She is in touch with a lot of people from Bangladesh, and she's also helping me fact check a lot of this information that is coming out. And so we'll do this here together. Okay, so before we do that, so I'm going to play a video for you guys trying to summarize this. And then again, some of these sources are good. Some of these sources are not good. But sometimes when the sources are not good, we could do our own work trying to fact check how accurate the information being presented to us here is, right? So actually, let me remove this one. Let me bring this video so that we all could get on the same page. Okay, good. Audio is good. Video stream sharper than usual. Really? Okay, well that's good. Let me know if you have the audio at the beginning. It doesn't have an audio, but it will have audio soon.
So things are yet to stabilize in Bangladesh. There is a lot of confusion, a lot of outrage, a lot of violence, and caught in the middle of all of this are minorities.
All right, so before I play this video, which is a good summary, this video is from Firstpost, right? And Firstpost has been criticized. I double check the credibility of the sources that we're using here, especially when things are this tense right now. Look, you can see from her background, things are extremely tense right now. We have to make sure that we are using credible sources, or if we're not, we have to double check if what they're saying is true. Okay, so Firstpost has been criticized. This is my search on this media source. Has been criticized for publishing misinformation on several occasions. Notably, it misrepresented incidents and facts, such as incorrectly attributing a photo to Pakistan when it was actually from India, and misrepresenting political events. This has raised concern about its editorial standards and fact-checking processes, okay? However, I checked this video with Susanna, and Susanna thinks that they are an Indian, they are right-leaning, not that there's anything to do with anything wrong with being right-leaning, but they are giving that they have a bias. They're Indian right-leaning wing, and they're very biased with their reporting, right? But Susanna also added, when she reviewed this videos, that she believes that what she showed in that video is correct. And she cited the same source that a lot of people have been telling us from Bangladesh that is a credible source, and that I also verified that this is a very credible source. So the source that this video used that she cited was Daily Star, and Daily Star is supposed to be a very credible source. So that's her source for some of this information. And the videos she's using here, they are credible. They are videos that are not fake. All right. So let's watch the summary of this.
So things are yet to stabilize in Bangladesh. There is a lot of confusion, a lot of outrage, a lot of violence, and caught in the middle of all of this are minorities. We talked about this yesterday. Around 10% of Bangladesh's population is made up of minorities. That's around 17 million people. Out of these 17 million, more than 13 million are Hindus, and right now they are the soft targets. We've been seeing a lot of videos on social media, temples being attacked, Hindu homes being targeted, and properties being set on fire. Now, just a disclaimer here, not everything that you see on social media may be true. A lot of old and fake videos are also circulating. So we have compiled the verified ones for you. Take a look at this first.
So what you can see here is like apparently there are Muslims around. So let me see actually what this video, because she doesn't provide any context for what we're watching here, right? So the context I have for this video, again, this is I don't know if this context is how accurate this context is, but let me actually make sure this is the video number 1 that I also have. I could show you the full version. But apparently, again, let's be skeptical here. They are attacking a home and they're outside. They're trying to get in, and this Hindu family, is terrified because there are Muslims trying to attack this Hindu family.
Those are heartbreaking scenes. An ISKCON temple in Meherpur was torched. Even the idols inside were completely burnt. In Rangpur, a Hindu politician was reportedly lynched. Plus, a councillor was killed by a mob. It's hard to keep an exact count of these attacks. One minority group is trying to do so. And they say 50...
So somebody's saying, why the F did the Muslims attack Hindus? So because the government, so guys, I don't know if you're following what's happening in Bangladesh. Bangladesh, the government just fell. There's a revolution. The government just fell. The military is now taking over, and they're going to try to have for temporarily, like nobody wants the military to be completely in power right now. So military is just holding order so that they can have a new government soon. It was just like, it just happened. Like people didn't expect that to happen. All of a sudden, it did. And now the idea is that Bangladesh, okay, so this might be exaggerated. Tell me if it's exaggerated or not. But a lot of Muslims in Bangladesh didn't like the secular nature of the government that they had. They want an Islamic state, not a secular state. So now that the government has fallen and it's hard to maintain law and order, a lot of these Muslims are now going in and basically hunting Hindus, because that's what they always wanted to do, attack these. Not all, again, let me be clear. There are a lot of Muslims watching this and they are horrified by it. But there are also a lot of Muslims who are like, yeah, this is our chance to basically hunt down these Hindus, okay? But let's also acknowledge that we don't want to generalize. There are many Hindus in Bangladesh that are watching this. There are many Muslims in Bangladesh that are watching this and like, oh my God, somebody please stop this, right? So that also exists, right? But again, Islam is, this is why I always say there are good Muslims and bad Muslims, but there's no good Islam, okay? There is only bad Islam. And Islam is responsible for this, okay? It's true that we cannot blame all Muslims. You cannot generalize all Muslims. But you can, and you'd say that all Muslims are at fault here. This is not all Muslims, but this is Islam. You can't blame Islam, right? So let's continue.
54 temples and Hindu establishments have been targeted so far.
Oh, Hindu houses, businesses attacked in 27 districts. Okay.
One minority group is trying to do so. And they say 54 temples and Hindu establishments have been targeted so far. And where are these attacks happening? Well, Bangladesh has 64 districts. Attacks have been reported.
Oh, somebody's saying why though? I think Dolly has a good answer for why, right? Dolly is saying they are simply following Islam. I mean, most Muslims are better than Islam. Okay, most Muslims do not follow Islam, but the Muslims that are doing this, that's because they're supposed, like Islamically, you're supposed to do this. You know, the Muslims who are doing this, these are Hindu temples. There is no Islamically, there is no excuse for you to let them stand. You know, the only group of people who can have protection under Islam, if they pay the jizya, if they pay the protection money, are Christians and Jews and their buildings. But there is no excuse for temples and idol worship in Islam. So that's why they're doing what they're supposed to be doing, right? So here's the thing, though. Islamically, somebody could come argue against that. Somebody like, Armin, no, you don't understand Islam. They're not supposed to do that. They're not supposed to do that because you can only do this under Sharia. You know, you have to have an Islamic state that does that. But that's not true. You have to also fight to bring in the Sharia, right? So there's disagreements among fundamentalist Muslims about this. Like, can we attack these temples and destroy them and kill Hindus anytime we want? Or should we wait for us to first establish an Islamic state, and then under Sharia law, we would have the excuse to basically destroy temples and kill Hindus? So there's disagreements over that. But whatever your position is on that, you are supposed to, if you don't have an Islamic state, as a Muslim, you are supposed to be fighting to bring in an Islamic state. So let's continue.
Well, Bangladesh has 64 districts. Attacks have been reported in at least 27 of them, which means it is pretty widespread. Of course, there is another side too. Many Bangladeshis are standing guard outside Hindu temples. They're also sheltering Hindu neighbors. The question now is, what happens next? Such situations can evolve in two ways. One, the security forces get a grip on the situation. The army has already called for peace, so maybe the violence will subside. That is one possibility. The other one is that the state joins in. Now, we haven't seen indications of this yet, but the track record does not inspire. Just look at the numbers. In 1951, East Pakistan had 22% Hindu population. 22% Hindu population. East Pakistan later became Bangladesh. Today, the country has just 8% Hindus. So where did the rest of them go? Most of them
India, I'm assuming they run away to India.
Migrated to India. Reports say because of religious persecution, they left Bangladesh, which brings us to the
It's even before the government toppling, guys, we always heard how terrifying it was to be Hindu in Bangladesh, right? So imagine you're always living in fear in Bangladesh as a Hindu, because if some Muslims come at you and attack you, then the mob could turn against you, and there's very little you could do. Like, you're always like, it's a very tense situation just to live in Bangladesh as a Hindu, right? But that's with the government being there and providing some security. So imagine how terrifying that is once the government falls and some Muslims there think that it's a free-for-all now. And like, okay, let's just do what we were scared to do before, now that there's no government. I mean, that they assume, the military is trying to maintain order, but it's obviously difficult.
The Jamaat-e-Islami, the radical...
Yeah, the Jamaat-e-Islami is the group that is like people are worried about. That's the Islamic group that people are worried about. So let's see what she says about that.
So where did the rest of them go? Most of them might...
Oh, yeah, guys, by the way, somebody is pointing at Wilson is pointing, this is Wilson is saying this reminds me of Jew population in the Arab nations. Like, that's a very good example. And again, Jews are supposed to be Ahl al-Kitab, or people of the book, and still Jews. Like, look at the population of Jewish people in Arab countries and how they were forced to leave, and that's why half of Israel, because a lot of people think that the Jews in Israel all came out of Europe, but half of the Jews in Israel came from the Middle East because they were forced out of the Islamic and Arab or Arab countries, right? And you can see the population dropping like a rock in the couple of years before Israel became a state. So a lot of the Jews that ended up in Israel, they were forced out of the places that they were in, right? But this is exactly like almost the same thing. Hindus from a Muslim majority country, back then East Pakistan, now Bangladesh, just leaving to India because the similarity is that the force that is creating all this anxiety and lack of security and oppression against you is an Islamic. And here's the guy. This is why you shouldn't be racist. These people have the same mix of ethnicity. So, and what is the similarity between Bangladesh, right, and these Arab countries that the Jews had to run away from and go to Israel? Is it their ethnicity? It's not. It's Islam. And the people who are running away, these Hindus that are being targeted, they are the same mix of the different ethnicities that is in that region. It's basically the same. Ethnically, these are the same people, right? So the difference is not ethnicity. The difference is not race. The difference is Islam. It's an ideology. This is why racism makes no sense here. This is why you have to be against Islam, not people's ethnicities.
Migrated to India. Reports say because of religious persecution, they left Bangladesh, which brings us to the Jamaat-e-Islami, the radical political group in Bangladesh. They are ruling the streets now, and their ideology is quite clear. It is not secularism, it is Islamism. A Bangladesh only for Muslims, that is what they want, and we've seen evidence of that in the last few days. Protesters have vandalized statues of Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, the man who founded Bangladesh, the man who gave Bangladesh secularism.
Wow. Holy crap, man. Unbelievable.
He's being targeted. So this movement is not just against Sheikh Hasina. It's also against...
They're destroying the statue. This reminds me of the in Western countries when the people are destroying statues of Washington and people who made these countries. So these people are against the foundations of what made these countries better than their neighbors.
Not just against Sheikh Hasina. It's also against what she stood for, a secular Bangladesh. But will these...
So here's, by the way, guys, here on this channel, we're not gonna say support Sheikh Hasina and everything she did, okay? The fact that she supported secularism, I mean, we could endorse that part, right? But I don't know, there's so many other things about her. I'm not going to come and say like, oh, she was good or she was bad. This is a concern regardless. This is a huge concern. We don't know what's going to happen to Bangladesh. A lot of people are saying that, oh, the Islamism is going to take over. And this is for sure, the Islamic Revolution of 1979 in Iran, taking the country from secularism to the Islamization of a country, is now being repeated in Bangladesh. I don't want to act like this is such a defeatist attitude. I mean, this is a huge concern that might be happening right now in Pakistan. I admit that, but don't act like this is predetermined and this is for sure it's going to happen, because this is like the British people that are looking at the country and like, oh, look at these people making the country Islamic. UK has fallen. Like, why are you acting like this is completely certain? This defeatist attitude makes you not fight for your country. Like, you should see the possibility that you don't know what's going to happen. They might be able to come if don't make the people from Bangladesh lose hope, because if they lose hope, they're not going to fight to keep their country secular, right? So there might be a possibility, like, see the possibilities that are there, that this is a temporary thing, and the military might be able to come and crack down and basically stop all of this nonsense, and there will be elections, and Bangladesh could go back to being secular. So I know this is I don't want to dismiss this as a concern, but the outcome is not clear yet. The outcome is not clear yet, because if you think the outcome is clear, nobody's going to fight.
Radical element.
And by fight, I don't mean violence, by the way, guys. Like fight, I mean in the sense that fight for your country, defend your country against Islamism.
Succeed. We say a lot will depend on the army. They're trying to cool the tensions. They've also released special helpline numbers for Hindus. If they crack down, things should be fine. Things should get better. But if they turn a blind eye to all of this, the violence may continue. And India is concerned about that. Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar spoke about it in Parliament today.
What was particularly worrying was that minorities, their businesses and temples also came under attack at multiple locations. The full extent of this is still not clear. We are also monitoring the situation with regard to the status of minorities. There are reports of initiatives by various groups and organizations to ensure their protection and well-being. We welcome that.
So the situation is precarious. The current violence is mostly driven by different mobs, but the state is not complicit yet. We haven't seen soldiers or security forces joining in.
All right, so I must admit that I know this Firstpost has sometimes been criticized of being biased, but I feel like at least in this report, she's being very balanced and not like fear-mongering and trying to make sure that she is like I think her reporting is very balanced here. Okay, I don't know about the other accusation that Firstpost. I think she's like not trying to like, oh my God, the whole country is on fire. She's like, no, the military might do this. You know, these are the things that we tried to verify. She also warned you about some videos online being fake. So I'm not going to judge this entire organization, but this reporting of her seems very, at least to me, maybe I'm wrong, seems very balanced and not like exaggerating things. So it's pretty good, I think.
Soldiers or security forces joining in. Let's hope it remains that way. But what about the long run? What if Islamists capture power in Dhaka? What if they form the next government? Then things could turn even more serious. Some lawmakers of India's ruling party have raised alarms. They say Hindu refugees could flee to India. How many? One leader said 10 million refugees. So India will have to be on alert. But for Bangladesh, this is a major test. You wanted Sheikh Hasina out. Well, she's out now. But the rest is up to you. The students, the civil society and the army. Will you retain Bangladesh's secular identity or will you let Islamists run riot?
Guys, this is also another confirmation of what we have been saying on this channel for a very long time, right? If a society is Islamized, you cannot force secularism on it, right? You saw Ataturk, you know, I mean, I like Ataturk, I like Reza Shah, I like Mohammad Reza Shah, but their attempts to modernize and secularize the country didn't, I mean, it had they brought a lot of progress to the country and a lot of what they did to Turkey and Iran. But I don't want to dismiss all the great service they did for those countries, right? But it's not enough. Secularism and modernity and democracy cannot be a top-down project. It needs to be a bottom-up project as well. You need to change the people. You cannot force secularism on people. You have to work on the people so that they want secularism, or else you're not going to be able to contain this. At some point, this is going to break apart and explode. Like this is what happens when you force secularism on people and they don't want secularism. You have to. This is why I'm saying that the responsibility cannot just be upon governments. We civilians, we are part of the solution. You cannot always just like, hey, government, do this, do that. The bottom-up approach is we should be doing that. You should be doing that. It comes from education and activism. We have to get people to join our side, or else you're not going to be able to contain this. You have to convince people to secularism, to liberalism, to democracy. Wilson saying, how do you make people want it? By talking to them. I know this sounds like so naive and kumbaya, and you think like, yo, talking, oh sure, like yeah, it is dialogue. It's dialogue. We need more dialogue. I know it seems like, oh wow, sure, Armin, just by you're gonna change things by dialogue. Yeah, the whole history of ideas have changed because people talking to each other.
This choice may decide Bangladesh's future.
Oh wait, this is music now. Okay, so that was it. Let me actually go to some videos. This was the video that we've being shown in that. This is the full version of it. So you see, this is a Hindu family, and there are Muslims outside in Bangladesh. Guys, if you're joining us new, this is in Bangladesh, trying to get in. So let's look at the anxiety that this family is facing. So they had no way to defend themselves, so they decided to just take out their phone and record what's happening and post it on social media, so maybe somebody comes and helps them. No, guys, I don't hate music. It's just a copyright strike. I might get a copyright strike. Okay. All right, let's watch. Can somebody translate in the live chat what the hell we're hearing here? Again, I don't know what's happening here, okay? So this is another video. I don't know if this is verified or not, that this is what's happening. This is another similar situation. This one I haven't, I'm not sure. Can somebody, for people for Bangladesh, tell me what's happening in this video? Oh, so somebody, so thank you, people. People are saying, she's saying, please help us. Please save us. That's what they were saying. So what about this one? Please translate this for me as well.
মিছিল নিয়ে যাওয়ার সময় উল্টো দিক থেকে এসে আমার বাসার মধ্যে ঢুকে, আমার বাবা একজন ব্যবসা করে, সে তার ব্যবসার প্রতিষ্ঠান, আমার ভাই একজন ডাক্তার, ছোট কাকার ছেলে, তার চেম্বারও আমাদের বাসার মধ্যে। এই চেম্বারের মধ্যে ঢুকে আমাদের পুরো ভাইরা চুইরা কিচ্ছু রাখে নাই। আমার কাকাকে খুঁজতেছিল, আমার ভাইকে খুঁজতেছিল, মানে এরা কোথায়। আমার মা বাইরে ছিল, আমার মা শুধু নিরুপায় হয়ে দাঁড়ায় দেখতেছে যে ঘরে ফ্যান বলেন, খাবার জলের জগ বলেন, একটা গ্লাস বলেন, কিচ্ছু রাখে নাই, পিটাই ভাইয়া ফেলাইছে। বাবা যতটুকু পারছে ছবি তুলছে এবং বাবারে মারছে, বাবার গায়ে হাত দিছে। আর আমার ছোট কাকা তো পলাই আছে, আমার ছোট কাকাকে ওরা খুঁজতেছে। মানে আমরা কতটা নিরুপায় আজকের এই ছাত্রদের কারণে। আমরা এখন কি দেশ ছেড়ে নিজের জায়গা জমি ছেড়ে।
All right, so I don't know if this translation is correct, but somebody's saying this girl is saying that his brother's chamber is broken, his brothers were being hunted, his father was beaten. Okay.
আমরা ইন্ডিয়া পালাই যাবো এটা মনে করতেছে সবাই। কেন ইন্ডিয়া যাব? আমরা স্বাধীন দেশে বাস।
And she's saying all their items were looted by Islamists.
করি না, আমরাও দেশের নাগরিক না, তো তাহলে কেন আমাদের সাথে এরকম হবে? আমরা তো স্বাধীনতা, ঠিক আছে, সবই ঠিক আছে।
All right, so thank you so much for somebody saying that. She's saying his father was beaten, even his uncle is being hunted down to be killed. Okay. Wow, Jesus. And she says, here, there's a research. She says, oh, highlight that one after Alfred. She says, even though she is Bangladeshi, it's her land, still she is being forced to leave Bangladesh. Okay. What was the other one that you highlighted? Oh, thank you so much. Oh, this is Shuba. This is, oh, the fantastic. The translation is they got into our house. My dad's a businessman. Brother's a doctor. They got into my brother's chamber. in our house and started attacking us and broke in. Dad was beaten. Uncle fled. Okay. Jesus Christ. Okay, so let's watch this video. Oh yeah, this one they okay, and again, this is WION. We have a history with this with this source. So I do, again, this is not a very, it's a biased source, but this video I went and double checked to make sure that it's true. Guys, we have to be skeptical, and this seems to be a true the video and what it's claiming seems to be correct. So this is a hotel, 24 burnt alive as Bangladesh mob sets a fire hotel owned by a politician from Sheikh Hasina's party. Okay, so this is not, this is just burning out a hotel that belonged to the party that they just toppled. So, and 24 people just were burnt alive. So let's watch this. Yeah, guys, I know WION is extremely biased. I know. So I do not trust, but this video, again, I went and verified. Apparently it's true. Okay, if I'm wrong about this video, tell me. This video is correct. All right, so, and this is the remaining of a temple that they attacked, and you can see the idols. I didn't know they have idols like that. That sounds like, that looks weird, but okay. So this is the Hindu temple that they attacked.
Hare Krishna. দেখতে পাচ্ছেন এই অগ্নির মধ্যে ধোঁয়া দাও অগ্নিকাণ্ডের মধ্যে
Alfred, please, like Shuvo's comments, like make sure that you star and highlight them because they're very important and informing. So Shuvo is saying people took photos with dead bodies hanging. Those dead bodies were cops and Awami League supporters. Okay, that is, I've heard that too. Some of them have been, there are some videos on Twitter about people being hanging and stuff. Some of them, I don't know if they're true, okay? I can't show those to you, but I will show you some fact checks so that you are careful. So the videos I'm showing here, they have been verified, okay? I mean, as best as I know, okay? We can never be sure, but these ones have been verified, like this temple in Bangladesh being attacked and destroyed. This has been verified. This is real. But I will also show you some fake ones, some fake reports, just to encourage you and show you that they're fake, just to encourage you to be skeptical of what you see online. Okay, so let's watch this one. This is a temple, the remaining of a temple after it was attacked.
Hare Krishna. দেখতে পাচ্ছেন এই অগ্নির মধ্যে ধোঁয়া দাও অগ্নিকাণ্ডের মধ্যে এই জগন্নাথদেব সুভদ্রা মহারানী এবং বলদেব অক্ষত আছেন। জয় জগন্নাথ স্বামী কি। দুর্বৃত্তরা তারা আগুন দিতে পারে কিন্তু ভগবানকে তারা কখনো কিছু করতে পারে না, এটা তার প্রমাণ।
Yeah, somebody please translate what they're saying. While we wait for the translations, I have a couple other one video and then we do the fact checks, and also I will go to the people have been telling Susanna that the source to be trusted from Bangladesh, that it has Susanna told me that people in Bangladesh told Susanna that this is a trusted source, and I also went and verified that this is a very trusted source. I will give you a summary of that. This is from the Daily Star, okay? I will show you the article and I will play a summary of that article for you so that you know that source is a good one. Okay, so Shuva is saying, he is saying people can attack but can't defeat God. Okay, so this is a religious response to what is happening. But here's Mohan, thank you so much for the 100 rupees, saying thank you so much for talking about Hindus in Bangladesh. Well, thank you. Stay safe if you are in Bangladesh. Well, I don't think you are. I think you're in India. But thank you. Guys, if you're in Bangladesh, I hope you stay safe, okay? I mean, you are. I don't know why I'm even saying that. You know that. My TV, thank you so much for the $10 super chat, saying thank you for covering this. The Hindu Samata page on in IG has the videos and their translations. Well, thank you so much for recommending us a source again. But guys, make sure that if you go on Instagram, find videos that are saying things, just make sure you double check and go there's. I'll show you. Just be careful about what you believe in. Okay, these are I checked these ones, but some of them are fake. I will show you the fake ones. These are true. These ones I'm showing you are true. Julian, thank you so much for the £50 super chat saying, Armin, not just adults need to talk. Yes, need to talk. Schools need to teach actual liberal democratic values and history. Right now, there is a vacuum in Western schools, and woke values are tending to fill it from a teacher. So you're a teacher. Okay. P.S. Thank you for your work. Well, thank you so much, Julian. Yes, I completely agree with that. And I also think that on top of teaching liberal democratic values in schools, there's two other things that should be included in schools. And that's critical thinking skills, basically going over logical fallacies and practicing them. Not just learning the list, but also actually trying to use them, trying to find your own logical fallacies. I think that should be critical thinking skills as a must from elementary school. I don't know why schools don't have that. It's important to have that. So yes, liberal democratic values, one, should be taught in schools, and critical thinking skills. And the third one, a history of religion, all religions, right? Like from a unbiased secular perspective, just looking at religions and being introduced to the history of religion. I think that would also be a very good thing to include in school. Hey, Susanna is here. Thank you so much. Yes, Susanna is saying, hi, everyone. Don't forget to like. And Susanna, I don't know. I was citing you from I was telling people all the things that you sent me at the beginning of the stream. Angie, thank you so much for the $2 super chat saying, sending a big hug to all in need for one. Well, thank you so much, Angie. Here's another video. Again, this is, I think this has been verified. Okay, but again, as I mentioned, be very skeptical. What is this video? So this is, so I also feel comfortable with showing this one. Again, we have to be skeptical, but again, that video that I showed you, the news clip that I showed you at the beginning, included this one as well. So guys, I think this one is verified as well, but if it's not, let me know in the live chat. But I think this is verified. So let's see, they are burning houses.
Hello. আমাদের হরকুমার পাড়ায় এখানে খানসেমা থানার জয়গঞ্জে হরকুমার পাড়ায় আগুন দেওয়া হয়েছে। ভিডিও করেছি আমরা।
So thank you so much for another super chat. It's actually, I might disagree with you. My TV giving with $5 super chat saying WiseGuard24 also has videos and is a great source, especially videos of poor Hindus displaced and trying to cross border to go to India. Okay, so WiseGuard24 is also very biased. And again, when a source is biased, I know WiseGuard24. I'm not saying we shouldn't use their videos. Okay, so a lot of sources are biased. And we could use their videos, but because they're biased, we cannot just share their videos. We have to double check if their videos, if they're somewhere else. So it's okay for media to be biased, okay? As long as we are aware of that bias, and as long as that the awareness of that bias will make us go and double and triple check. And if we cannot be very sure on how credible that video is, if we're going to share that, we have to tell people that we're skeptical about it, right? So yeah, WiseGuard is a good source of videos, but because they're extremely biased, we have to double and triple check what we're using. Here's actually, let's get actually to this point. Let's do some, so these were what I showed was good videos that have been verified, but just so that you understand how dangerous it is for you to trust just videos being shared. So, by the way, all the fact checks that I'm going to send you, Susanna sent me this. And Susanna, by the way, let me tell you something. Susanna was very, very concerned about me doing this live this early. Susanna really likes to wait to. I have the philosophy that we can go early as long as we remain skeptical and we tell people to stay skeptical. Susanna is worried that we will spread misinformation. So Susanna likes to wait longer. And so that's why Susanna didn't want us to go this early, right? But again, because it's so important and a lot of people are being attacked, it's a hard balance. Or honestly, like, you guys could tell us your opinion, because at the same time, yes, it's better to wait to have the correct information, but at the same time, it's an urgent situation that people want more. People are asking for more people to talk about it now. So how do we meet this balance? And I think the balance is good, because Susanna is very concerned about us spreading misinformation, and I think us talking to each other behind the scene and like trying to figure this out, the conflict and the discussion makes us come up with the right balance. But I also want you guys to be part of that discussion. Let us know what you think, what our philosophy should be. Should we just, anyways, I'm not going to repeat myself. Anyways, so here's a couple of fact checks that Susanna sent me, and she wanted me to show you guys this so that you remain skeptical about what you see online. So thank you so much, Susanna. This one is from DW. It's saying, fact check, false claims fuel ethnic tensions in Bangladesh. During recent protests in Bangladesh, old images of, I'm just going to say this, rape and violent attacks on Bangladesh Hindus have resurfaced online. A DW fact check reveals the truth behind these viral claims. Guys, saying that these are fake does not mean that horrible things are not happening in Bangladesh to Hindus, okay? I'm not trying to dismiss what's happening, right? So some people, when they see this as a fact check, like, oh, this video that said that Hindus are being attacked is false. And then people get upset because, like, are you saying that Hindus are not being attacked? No, Hindus are being attacked. But this also goes to show how the anti-Muslim people are such a huge cost to the anti-Islam movement, okay? Because the anti-Muslim people, they are the people who just they're extremists. They are people that they just hate people. They don't want the betterment of the people. Like, if we're here on this channel, if we're against Islam, it's partly because we also care for Muslims. We want Muslims to have better lives, and we think Islam is stopping them from having better lives, right? But the people who just are anti-Muslim, like, for example, in India, there are so many people that just hate Muslims, right? And they say, and they hate them to the core, and they think that this is something inherent within them, and you cannot even, get them out of that mindset, right? And they are, in India, there is a lot of good sources of information, but there's also a lot of bad source of information. A lot of people that have a different agenda, rather than like trying to improve society, they just want to hate on Muslims, and they spread a lot of misinformation and this actually does such a disservice to Hindus themselves. Just in the same way that people who say that they support Palestine and they support Gaza, they actually don't care about Palestinians. They're using the Palestinian people as a way to fool the anti-Jewish hatred that they have, and the anti-Israel hatred that they have. A lot of Hindus, when they say like, oh, poor Hindus, they don't actually care about the Hindus in Bangladesh. They just hate Muslims, and they want to use this as an excuse to just attack Muslims. And that's why they just share whatever video they see, and they actually hurt Hindus, because this is so bad for Hindus in Bangladesh, because this misinformation online will make a lot of people dismiss the entirety of the situation. Like, imagine if somebody says like, oh, look, Hindus are being attacked, and then they share a video, and they're like, okay, that was a fake video. That will be in the benefit of Islamists that are attacking the Hindus, because now you cannot take them seriously. Maybe people are like, okay, so it's all fake. And now if somebody comes and says like, yeah, no, these are just far-right Hindu people spreading misinformation about us, this is not true, they're like, okay, then you're going to dismiss all of the anti-Hindu attacks. So please be careful. So let me actually show you. So these are some. I'm not going to go through all of this, because they do a very good job fact-checking a lot of this. And so look at this. So They go. You could search for this. DW fact check false claims fuel ethnic tensions in Bangladesh, right? And they go through some of these posts one by one, right? So claim Bangladeshi Hindu cricketer. So I'm not going to pronounce it. Liton Das. I don't know. I'm not good with these names. House has been set on fire, right? So this is the post, and then W take fact check false. And then you could pause the screen and read this, or go and see exactly how. Look, they actually tell you how they investigated this, and they show you. It's good if you actually study how they investigated this, because it also teaches you how for you yourself to also do fact checks. It's a really good source of doing this, right? And then here's another claim about rape, sexual harassment of a Hindu woman. And then DW fact check false. This was also false. And then you could see what exactly that post was and how did they do the fact check. And then here's another one. Here was another post. This links to the post as well. Claim a Hindu woman was sexually assaulted and gang raped by a Muslim group men at the University of Dhaka. And then this one was false. Again, you can see it keeps on going through the post. It links to the post on X. And then it shows you how it did the investigation, and also tells you how they come to the conclusion that it was false, right? So that's one fact check. Here's another fact check. So this one, I saw this video. Honestly, to be honest with you guys, when I saw this video, I thought like, oh yeah, this is from Bangladesh. Like I assumed that Muslims are attacking this guy, they're lynching somebody. And apparently, no, this is also false. Okay, so fact check, video of Muslim. Hold on, let me see if I'm sharing the right screen. Video of Muslim Awami League leader lynched in Bangladesh given a false communal spin. India Today found that the deceased person. So this is from India Today's fact check. Okay, so this is from India. So you can see India. I'm not saying all media in India is bad. You can see the fact checkers in India itself is trying to fight this misinformation. India Today found that the deceased person in this video is not Hindu. He is Shahidul Islam Hiran, the chairman of, so I'm not going to read this because I don't know how to pronounce this, the chairman of something in Bangladesh, and a local leader of Awami League. So this guy was Muslim. So this was India fact check claim. Oh wait, yeah, false. This was false. So the video shows an old Hindu man who was lynched and hanged on the statue in Bangladesh. So the fact is, the victim's name is this, and he's a Muslim. This guy's a Muslim. So this guy was not a Hindu, and you could see how they did. I like how they show their investigation and how they mention how they figured this out, right? So that's good. By the way, I see some super chats that I haven't read. I will read that after I show you a lot of these fact checks. Here's some other fact checks. There's many more of this. So fact check. This is by the Quint. Old video of assault on woman falsely linked to Bangladesh violence. So the video was falsely given a communal spin as well, claiming that it showed assault against Hindu women. So you could see that this is false, and you could also see how they investigated this. There's another one here. Video of restaurant set ablaze in Bangladesh, falsely shared as temple. This is from Boom. Boom found that the video shows a fire at a restaurant called Raj Prasad Restaurant and Resort in Bangladesh. I don't know. I can't pronounce the district. And you could also read their fact check, and you could see how they fact checked it and everything. So that's that. But again, so there's a lot of this happening. Let me see what your comments are about all of this. So somebody's saying, but Armin, who fact checks WD? So they show you their work. First of all, you have to use Occam's razor. The DW, for example, has a history of credible reporting, right? So at some point, you have to use Occam's razor and just go with, nothing is 100% certain. But when DW, for example, has a history of being credible and constantly being reporting, and other people investigating the reporting and coming up with the conclusion that the reporting is right, then you just go with the highest possible explanation. And the most plausible explanation is that DW does they're reporting well, and at some point you have to just accept that the highest possible conclusion is that they are doing the same, they have the same standard here. But however, you don't even have to rely on that, because they also show their work. They show their work. They show how they fact check it. And so here's the answer to your question. But Armin, who fact checks DW? You can fact check DW, because given that they show their work, you could go and follow the steps that they took and see how you could come to the same conclusion, right? I showed you the website. I showed you what you could search for to bring up those reports. Oh, I already read that super chat, so never mind. And somebody's saying, excellent point, Armin. The same Hindus who cry over the violent persecution of Hindus in Bangladesh were silent when Tamil Hindus were being killed by... Okay, so here's the thing. I don't agree with this criticism. I think like silence when Tamil Hindus were being killed. Okay, so I mean, I don't want to generalize, and it's also impossible to ask people to always care about everything, right? I don't know if if people are being selective with their outrage, that is on a wider scale, that does show some indication of some bias and some other agendas. So I give you that. But at the same time, so I agree that on a collective level, that your analysis might be indicative of something that we have to be concerned about. But just be careful. So you are correct, but just be careful not to apply that on an individual level, because on an individual level, we have to pick our fights, and we cannot always care about everything, right? I do want to read a comment from one of our volunteers, Atheist Republic volunteer, who from Bangladesh, who comes from a Hindu family, and he was there until he was 20, and his dad still lives there, and he was just recently in Bangladesh as well. And this is what he says, right? This is based on Atheist Republic volunteer, Bangladesh, Hindu, from a Hindu background, from Bangladesh. He's saying the country has become more Islamic, as I had expected. My family also went through the 70-year war atrocity. So this is his background, right? And his dad has fled to India, and his aunt and her child was killed. Okay, so he basically comes from, he has lived through a lot of generational trauma. All right, so this is the opinion that he was exchanging with the rest of the Atheist Republic team. And I just wanted to make sure, given that our team has people from Bangladesh, I read you this. He's saying this: the tricky part is absolutely nobody will touch the issue here, which is, I'm not sure if I could say this, I don't want to make this absolutist claim, but this is his opinion, right? We'll touch the issue here, which is that for years, a large chunk of Bangladeshis have been wanting an Islamic state. This incident is the perfect entry point to install those fundamentalist ideas. However, all you will hear is that Hasina was an autocrat and that people have saved the country. It is not that simple. So you can see that our team, people from our team are concerned that the country is going to become Islamic. And this is a huge possibility. And I don't want to exaggerate the possibility, but I also don't want to underestimate the possibility, right? There are two extremes. People think that, this is not a concern. This is not going to happen. I think that's ridiculous. This is a concern. But there's another extreme that thinks that this is what's going to happen, right? And I don't agree with that either, right? By the way, I forgot to, before I tell you why this is, so this is happening in Bangladesh. I am an Iranian, and the reason why this is such a concern for me is because Iran has went through this, right? Iran used to be a secular state. It had an Islamic revolution. It was supposed to bring people democracy and freedom, and it didn't. It brought an Islamic state, right? And this is just such a deja vu as an Iranian, and this is why I think the Bangladeshi people should be very concerned. You see what happened to Iran. You see what happened to Iran, and you're seeing now Islamists going on attacking. Many Islamists in Bangladesh were waiting for this to happen because they always wanted an Islamic state, and this is their opportunity. You cannot dismiss this. I know a lot of you are happy that, I don't know, an autocrat is gone, but the replacement could be so much worse. Okay, I'm not going to judge Hasina right now because that's not the point of this show. Okay, the point is that whether you're happy or unhappy that she's gone, the replacement could, regardless of your judgment on her, be so much worse. So much worse. So you have to fight right now. You have to keep your country secular. If you underestimate this threat, you might lose your country to Islamism. It's really that easy. I know this because we Iranians have lost the country to Islamism at the time that nobody thought this could happen. Even the Islamists. Here's the thing. Iran turned into an Islamic theocracy. Even when the Islamists, after the success of the Islamic Revolution, didn't think that they're going to manage bring an Islamic theocracy. So what happened was beyond their wildest dreams. So imagine how much of a risk Bangladesh is in, where the Islamists there think that they can now bring an Islamic state. So the danger right now to Bangladesh is even more. When Iran, but before 1970, like just a few months before 1979, in Iran, if you told people that this country is going to turn into an Islamic state, people would think that you're ridiculous. Iran, if you looked at Iran, it looked like it was speed running towards modernity and secularism. That's what it looked like, right? And then people were like, that analysis would make no sense at that point if you had that analysis. But if you look at Bangladesh right now, if somebody tells you that, Bangladesh is going towards an Islamic state, not that many people would laugh at you. People are like, I can see that happening. So the threat to you is more than the threat was to Iran. And look at where Iran is now. By the way, I just wanted to play. So the article that I mentioned to you, the Daily Star, I'm just going to play because there's a lot of names here and a lot of names of people and locations that I cannot pronounce. I'm just going to play a summarized version of, not a summarized actually, a organized version of this article because the article goes all over the place from ChatGPT. So I'm just going to play it, the summary of it. Almost a summary of it, yeah. So this is a very. Let me actually show the article. This is what Susanna, People for Bangladesh, and my checking. This is the best source of new information that you could find from Bangladesh. One of the best ones, right? It's called the Daily Star Net, and you could trust this. Okay, almost as more trustworthy than other sources, right? So I'm going to. You could go read the article itself. Is my audio okay right now because is it echoing or not? I'm just going to play the summary of it from ChatGPT. I made ChatGPT organize this article and read it for you because I'm not going to try to read these names. Okay, so just listen to this.
The article reports on widespread attacks on Hindu houses and businesses in at least 27 districts in Bangladesh. These attacks involved vandalism, looting, and arson. Key incidents include: in Lalmonirhat, Sadar Upazila, the house of Pradeep Chandra Roy, a local Hindu community leader, was attacked and looted. Additionally, a computer shop owned by another community member, Muhin Roy, was also vandalized and looted. In Chandrapur village, homes of 4 Hindu families were similarly targeted. In Haribanda, Upazila, 12 Hindu houses were set on fire. Panchagar district also saw several Hindu houses vandalized and looted. In Dinajpur, multiple Hindu houses were attacked, and an attempt to vandalize a temple was thwarted by locals. Manindra Kumar Nath, a senior leader of the Hindu community, expressed disbelief and fear over the widespread nature of the attacks, emphasizing that such communal violence was unprecedented. He also raised concerns about the safety and future of the Hindu community in Bangladesh. Other significant attacks occurred in various districts, including Laxmipur, where a building belonging to Gautam Mazumdar was torched; Khulna, where the houses of prominent Hindu leaders were ransacked; Barishal's Guranadi, where the house of Aditri Adhikari was attacked and looted; Bogura, where warehouses and shops belonging to Hindus were looted; Patuakhali, where a Hindu house and a temple were attacked and set on fire. The article highlights the widespread nature of the violence, reporting attacks in other districts like Sherpur, Narsingdi, Kishorganj, Chattogram, Jashore, Satpura, Habiganj, and Narail. The Bangladesh Legal Aid and Services Trust, BLAST, issued a statement calling for the Bangladesh Army and administration to identify and punish the perpetrators. They emphasized that the current situation is illegal and against the Constitution, referencing specific articles that guarantee personal liberty and non-discrimination. Overall, the article underscores a severe and extensive wave of communal violence targeting the Hindu minority in Bangladesh, eliciting fear, and calls for urgent action to ensure their safety and uphold constitutional rights.
All right, so that was the correct information. So I showed you the false information and the correct information. So you could see that showing you the false information is not my attempt to try to dismiss the violence that is happening. The correct information is also showing you that the Hindus are being attacked. But also let me know if you like this method. When an article, I could summarize articles and get ChatGPT to read it out for you. When we need to go through articles, that would be a quick way for us to basically, especially when it has a lot of names of people and locations where I can't pronounce. ChatGPT seems to be doing a better job at pronouncing these names. Let me know if that's a method that you want me to do when we have articles that we need to quickly go over on the show. Let me know if you like that. All right. So let me just respond to your comments. Okay, so we got a whole bunch of super chats and then some comments that have been started by Alfred. Yeah, so Sunny saying just showing support. Oh, thank you so much. 15 shekels from Israel saying just showing support. Would like to see you and Sam Shamoun duo debunking Abduls. I don't like the word Abduls because debunking Abduls, I don't think that's a type of language that we should be using. Inshallah, I like that. That's funny. But I think the reason why I don't like Abduls is because I think we have a lot of Abduls that are secular. We have a lot of Abduls that are atheists. We have a lot of Abduls that are anti-Islamist. And I also think that Abdul is kind of suggesting that people who are Arabs, they all have this backwards mentality. So that's why I don't like to use the term Abdul to refer to these people, right? So, let me know what you guys think. I don't agree with using the term Abdul, right? Because we're not going to attract people to our side if we are using their background or their heritage or their ethnicity against them. It kind of seems like we're suggesting that these bad ideas are inherent. They're not, right? But yeah. But thank you for the support. Ryan, I don't know if I'm pronouncing your name right? Thank you so much for the super chat saying, I think it's Ryan SH, right? Lots of people telling me that Lady PM actually became the dictator of Bangladesh. Almost 10K people who stood against her vanished. So people actually going against government officials. Army general refused to open fire on the public. Yeah, I mean, I'm not supporting her. She did seem to have a dictatorial attitude towards people. And she's basically forcefully removed her political opposition. So I'm not supporting her in any ways. But the thing is that when you don't make a population have themselves a secular mindset, then the only way to get secularism is by force, and that's not going to last. That's not going to last. Yeah. So let's go to the next comment. Thank you so much for the super chat and saying Merchant Rekha with the 500 rupees is saying Dr. David Wood correctly pointed out that people wanting to kill minorities are always there. They couldn't because of a dictator was in power. Saddam, ISIS, Yazidis, minorities are being attacked because there's no one to stop them from doing that. Yeah, that's why always the long-term solution. I know the people want quick solutions because the situation is horrible. People want dictators to come and force people to be secular. right? But that's not going to last. The long-term solution, and people don't like the solution because it's slow, and people are suffering now, and you want quick solutions. Well, quick solutions is just going to make a bubble burst, and then the backlash might even be more severe to society than the originally was. The actual solution is a long-term investment in changing the people. This is what made Europe the way it is, right? Europe didn't become secular because dictators came and forced secularism upon people. It was more of a bottom-up approach. That's why Europe, Western countries are greater. Not because greatness was forced upon them. It was because, greatness was forced upon the rulers from the people, not from the rulers upon the people, right? And again, this is a slow solution, and a lot of people don't like hearing this because people are suffering now. Dictators who do not reflect the people at some place are going to be replaced by the people, and if the people's ideas are bad, we are going to miss those dictators because, like, oh my God, bring the dictator back. These people have backwards beliefs. Yeah, well, how long could dictators last? You have to change the people. Here's another super chat. Blade with the 200 rupee super chat. Guys, we're getting a lot of support from India and Israel today. Thank you. So, out of topic, but Armin, your thoughts on apostate Aladdin? The leftist softie is going all guns blazing over liberal ex-Muslims for their aggressive approach on religious and political topics. I haven't seen much of him, but by some of the content I've seen from him, when he goes after other, it's good to criticize ex-Muslims. Criticizing ex-Muslims is good. It's good for progress. But he seems very bad faith. Like, he seems to have a conclusion and just be hell-bent on just selectively collecting data and just showing data that just gets to that conclusion. He doesn't seem to be very honest or fair with his criticism. My impression of him is that he's very bad faith in his approach, but I might be wrong. Okay, so let me see. Look at this. Somebody saying, sorry, Armin, Arab is not an ethnicity. You speak as if ethnicity has a very clear-cut definition. Neither the word Arab and the word ethnicity, neither of them. These are just very vague terminology that no two people seem to have the same definition for both of them. So it's very weird that you act like these are very clear-cut, as if for you to make such a definite statement about that. Let's go to this one. Shastrath is saying, Hindu are the most peaceful and loving religion in the world. What are you talking about? Okay, so I support Hinduism. The religion is one of the most violent religions that there is. And I'm so grateful that Hindus don't take the religion very seriously. But no, I'm supporting Hindus here. I'm not supporting the Hindu as a religion. Look at this. Let me read this comment. Hindus are the most peaceful and loving religion in the world, yet they have never attacked. See how you're mixing Hindu people and the Hindu religion? You should say this is not a good defense of Hindu people, okay? It doesn't matter how good or bad the religion is. We have to defend people regardless of how good or bad the religion is. So peaceful, look how you're mixing the religion with the people. Like, Hindus are the most peaceful and loving religion in the world, yet they have never attacked any other country and never asked forced to follow or convert Hinduism, but just they face hate by everyone. So that's not correct. If you read the Gita, the Bhagavad Gita, you can see that actually Hinduism is one of the most violent religions in the world. The reason why Hindus are on average more peaceful is because they just treat their religion more as a ritual or as just a community or just a sense of awe or meditation or belonging rather than a source of morality or politics, right? That's why Hindus do not treat their religion like Muslims treat their religion. But if they were treating their religion, if they were looking at the scripture and were like, okay, let's follow this scripture, to the T and make sure that we follow its role model, if you just follow, for example, a lot of the scripture, it would actually end up being more violent than Islam. So the scripture itself in Hinduism is extremely violent, right? I mean, I did an analysis on the scripture. You could see that, okay? And I know a lot of Hindus will say that no, army, you just don't misunderstand. No, it's pretty clear cut. If you actually read the Gita, you will see. And I know I read the Vedas, I read the Manusmriti, I read the Gita, I read many of them, and I also read the scholarly analysis of it. And it's genuinely one of the most insanely violent scripture. And I'm so grateful that Hindus don't take their scripture as seriously as Muslims do. Yeah. But no, we're not supporting religions on this channel. We're supporting Hindus. We're supporting Hindus. We're not supporting Hinduism as a religion. I know I say this, I lose a lot of support here because a lot of people are like, oh my God, Armin is supporting Hindus. And a lot of Hindus come and subscribe. And then I say this and they leave. And they're like, okay, screw this channel. I hate it now. And they leave. And this is why our channel has a hard time growing, because to grow, you need to just, when you get some supporters, you just have to say everything they like to grow, right? But I don't do that here, right? I support Hindus against Islamic extremism, and then when they ask me about the religion, I say a whole bunch of things that they don't like. And that's why the channel has a hard time growing, because I'm not just going to say things that just going to make us get followers, right? I just want to be honest with you guys about my opinions. I mean, even if you think I'm wrong, let's say like you're a Hindu here, and like Armin is so wrong, Armin has no idea what he's talking about. He has his, like, as you guys like to say, his Abrahamic mindset, and he cannot get out of that. That's what you guys love to say, right? But many of you love to say, but even if that's true, if I'm wrong and you're right, appreciate at least that I'm not pandering, and I'm trying to be honest. Like, I'm an atheist, I'm against religion. That's what you should expect from me, to say that about Hinduism, right? So even if you think Armin is wrong, appreciate the fact that I'm not just trying to say the things that you enjoy just to gain you as a subscriber. Appreciate that I'm being honest with you. I appreciate that maybe even if I'm wrong, I'm not going to lie to you about my opinions just to get you subscribing and following me. That should have some value. If you knew, I mean, maybe not. You decide. He's saying, like, so we have like a very offended Hindu in the live chat that is saying, like, no, Armin, you're wrong. And look at the insanity. He's saying honesty doesn't do anything. He says honesty. He's also saying up there, so honesty doesn't make you better. So he was supporting us until this moment. Now that I said something that he doesn't like about Hinduism, he's like outraged in the live chat, and he's going like, oh my God, you're bullshitting, you have no idea. Yeah, everybody is right about how insane other religions are until it gets to your religion, and now they're bullshitting. Obviously they're completely wrong once it gets to your religion. Sure. I don't know what that means. Okay, so I'm not going to read all of this because I need to go get ready for the Persian show. Okay. Oh, here, let me read this one. Tayyip is saying, Armin, I'm from Bangladesh and I'm super worried. There's ISIS and Taliban flags are flying in Bangladesh right now. Okay, yeah, you're right to be worried. I'm sorry, man. I'm sorry. I hope things work out. I hope things work out for you guys. So saying, Riti is saying, would you say Iran was better than Bangladesh before the revolution happened, like more secular minded, like Shah, while most Bengalis wanted Sharia instead of Hasina? So here's the thing: there's no good credible sources of what people's opinions were at that time on average in Iran, right? What you could see, though, is people modernizing and secularizing and progressing and becoming more educated. You could visibly see that, and you could also see that we have data to show that in like the trends towards more education, more modernization, right? But when it comes to people's individual opinions, either there doesn't exist, or I haven't seen any reliable data that I could quote. So I don't know. Yeah, so look at this. People are saying Gita is violent. LOL. Yeah, Gita is absolutely violent. You have to be insane to have read the Gita and not understand how pro-violence the Gita is. Here's okay, because a lot of people are upset and think like you guys think like, oh, I'm Hindu, you don't understand Armin. I completely understand the Gita. I have analyzed the crap out of the Gita. Okay, if you have if you here, I will send you the video that I did an analysis of, and you guys can see. It's beyond the doubt, beyond the reasonable doubt. Here, for people who think that the Gita is not for violence, I will show you. Yeah, the Gita is about war. People are saying like, oh, Gita is the most peaceful. The whole point of the Gita is about war, about why you should be conducting war, even if the other side is innocent. The whole point of the Gita is that it doesn't matter if you think this war is just or unjust. You have been predestined to kill. And killing people, it doesn't matter, because even if they're innocent, it doesn't matter, because they're just going to change souls from one body to another, because our bodies are just like clothes that you're changing. And even if they're your family, even if they're your loved ones, and even if they're innocent, you as a warrior have been predestined to kill. So go kill. That's the whole point of the Gita. That's the whole message of the Gita. And here I will show you. You have missed the entire point if you don't understand that. I will show you the video that I did on the Gita. Yeah, so at least some people are agreeing with me. Armin is correct 100. Yeah. And it's insane that like the most violent book in the world, which is the Bhagavad Gita, has been introduced as the most peaceful book in the world. Like, it's so insane. It's absolutely insane. But again, Hindus are more peaceful on average relative to Muslims. They're more peaceful than Muslims because Hinduism is not taken as a source of like how I live my life. Okay, Hinduism is just like a religion where people, if you want to be religious, you just go to the temple and just do your rituals, and you don't use it as like a source of like how do I do politics or how do I live my life. It's just like it's more of a ritualistic religion than a moral philosophy. So that's why, you know, it doesn't cause as much harm as Islam. But the scripture itself is absolutely violent. So I posted the link, me going over the Gita, if you guys want to see that how deep of an analysis I did. People are just dismissing what I'm saying. Oh, so here's somebody, my TV saying, as an atheist from Bangladeshi Hindu, you're right. So these are people from a Hindu background who are atheists right now are agreeing with me in the live chat. Thank you so much. And my TV saying, thank you so much for this other super chat saying, as someone from Bangladesh, the DW documentary, Rise of Islamism in Bangladesh, is an accurate portrayal of the changes happening. I think IG is Instagram, right? Instagram pages like British Hindus, Hindu Samata, the Anonymous Hindu has real videos. Okay, thank you so much for introducing those sources to us. All right, guys, I'm going to head out and get ready for the Persian show. For people who don't know, we have an English channel, and we also have a Persian channel. By the way, Alfred wanted me to remind you, because I say we have a Persian channel that is mostly for an audience in Iran, but Alfred wanted to, because Alfred is proud of this. Thank you so much for Alfred for reminding me of this. So Alfred wanted to let you know that we also have audience from Tajikistan and Afghanistan too, because they speak Persian as well, right? So yeah, it's the Persian channel. 80% of our audience on our Persian channel is Iranians inside Iran, and the 20% is Iranians outside of Iran and people from Afghanistan and people from Tajikistan who also speak Persian. But 80% of the audience is Iranians from Iran. So that's the Atheist Republic's Persian channel is called Jumhuriya Bi Khodayan, which means Atheist Republic in Persian. So if you speak Persian, you could check that out. So I'm going to go get ready for that show. And again, Thank you for being here. Thank you for liking. Thank you for the super chats. When the show is over, please leave a comment for this channel to grow. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the bell notification. Please introduce this channel. If you're a Hindu that you just found this channel, and at the beginning you were being so appreciative that I'm covering Hindus being attacked in Bangladesh because this needs attention, and now you're upset with me because I said something that you don't like about Hinduism, please note this. I mean, I'm probably going to lose you as a subscriber. That's okay. That's how this channel operates. That's why this channel grows less rapidly than other channels. But I also want you to consider that given that I didn't misrepresent my opinions for you as to gain you as a subscriber, then you could always, that might suggest that you could always trust that even if I'm wrong, that at least I'm not lying, right? If so that person who got really offended, he doesn't care about my honesty. He said he doesn't care about my honesty. It's not worth anything. But if you as a Hindu value honesty, even if you disagree with me, then consider staying with me on this channel. If not, bye. I'm going to end the stream. Thank you for everybody. Thank you. Please share this video if you think it's worth more people not seeing what is actually happening in Bangladesh without exaggerating, without fear-mongering. Also, if you think this video is good to help people remain skeptical, like it encourages people to remain skeptical about what they see online, and also to how to fact check and how to apply Occam's razor and how to check the media's credibility before they use it. And even if the media is not credible, at least like encouraging them to find the credibility of that specific piece of information. If for all of that, if you think this channel and this video is worth sharing, please go ahead and share it, unless it's not safe for you to do so. Anyways, guys, bye. Till next stream. Bye.